Right now, you're standing in front of a luxury car gallery, and you know you have enough money to buy any car you want. A Rolls-Royce, a Porsche, a Ferrari, or a Bugatti Veyron. A car that makes strangers turn their heads, makes valet attendants treat you differently, and suddenly makes your friends ask what kind of work you do. And you, sitting comfortably in a luxury cafe, explain to them how you became financially free and built real wealth. Then, as you leave the cafe and drive toward your luxury villa in your expensive car, followed by a convoy of security vehicles, everyone on the road looks at you in your car with admiration. Maybe this vehicle is not just transportation. Maybe it is an investment. Yes, this is the secret tactic of the rich. They drive luxury cars and take their wealth to the next level. If you are curious about how they do it, you need to watch this video without skipping. No matter what financial level you are at in real life, subscribe to our channel now to move toward higher levels, and let's build your future together. Level 1. Survival transportation. Level 1. A car is not a symbol of success. It is survival. You do not choose between brands for design, comfort, or status. You choose whatever can start in the morning and get you to work before your shift begins. The car is old, its paint is faded, and one of the warning lights on the dashboard has been on for so long that it almost feels permanent. The seat fabric is worn out. The air conditioner only works when it wants to, and every strange sound from the engine makes you wonder whether today is the day you will get stranded. But when you sit in the driver's seat, there is still a small feeling of control. You no longer have to wait in the rain for a bus that might arrive late. You no longer have to ask someone to give you a ride, even if the car shakes at every red light. When you need to go somewhere, you can go. At this level, your car has no investment potential. It loses value every month, and it may even be worth less than the repairs it needs. But for you, it solves a more urgent need, getting to work. And when your budget is tight, even this car can feel like freedom. Level 2. Reliable basic car. Then you reach Level 2. Now the car is still simple, but it becomes a little more reliable. Maybe it is a used compact car with fewer problems, cleaner seats, better fuel economy, and just enough technology to make daily life feel a little easier. Before buying it, you check the mileage, you compare repair costs, you watch videos about common problems. For the first time, a car is not just an emergency purchase. It is a decision. You are trying to avoid the trap that destroys low-income drivers everywhere. Buying the cheapest car, then constantly paying mechanics for repairs. At this level, the smartest car is not the most impressive one. It is the one that quietly keeps going. A car that starts every morning is more valuable than a car that looks good in the driveway but spends half the month at the repair shop. The interior design is basic. The engine is not exciting. When you arrive, nobody takes a picture of it, but the monthly cost is predictable. And that predictability matters, because while you are still building financial stability, a car should not be a personality, it should be a tool. The first real lesson appears here. A cheap car does not always mean a cheap life. Sometimes, it is a strategic move on the path to financial freedom. So do you have a car? And if you do, are you happy with it? Share it with us in the comments. Level 3. Practical progress. At Level 3, the car finally starts to feel like progress. It may be a newer used sedan, a practical crossover, or a modest family car with clean paint, modern safety features, and enough comfort that driving no longer feels like a compromise. The cabin is quieter. The suspension is softer. The dashboard no longer looks like it belongs to another decade. For the first time, you can imagine using this car for years without constantly fearing the next repair. This level brings a different feeling, not luxury, not status, relief. You can commute to work without worrying. You do not have to apologize for the condition of your car when taking your family somewhere. When you park in front of a workplace or a restaurant, you do not feel exposed. But even here, the car is still mostly an expense. It may have been bought with a loan, and it may have upgraded your comfort, but every month comes with payments, insurance, fuel, maintenance, and slow, invisible depreciation. The car is newer, but it is still not making you richer. It is helping your life run more smoothly. That matters, but it is not the same thing as an investment. And this is where people make their first financial mistake with cars. They feel the relief that reliability gives them, And then they mistake that feeling for permission to overextend themselves. A slightly better car turns into a bigger payment. A bigger payment turns into less savings. Less savings turns into slower freedom. In the first 3 levels, a car should solve a problem. It should not create a new one. At this level, you should avoid unnecessary spending and save on your path toward financial freedom. Level 4. Identity upgrade. At level 4, the car begins to become part of your identity. You are no longer buying the cheapest reliable option. You are buying something that feels like a visible upgrade from your old life, maybe. It is a newer sedan with clean paint, shiny wheels, and a badge that makes you feel like you have moved up. When you enter a parking lot, the car no longer disappears among everyone else's vehicles. It says that you are doing a little better. Not rich, not powerful, but better. This is the first level where the money you earn starts to feel stronger. You enjoy opening the door and catching that small moment when someone passing by your house says, "Nice car." That sentence can be dangerous because it turns a financial object into a social reward. The car still loses value. Insurance is higher. Tires are more expensive. Because the car makes you feel valuable, you begin accepting costs you would have questioned before. At this level, the vehicle is not an investment. It is a confidence machine. And confidence should never be confused with an appreciating asset. Level 5. Premium badge. Level 5 is where the badge starts to matter. Now you are looking at premium brands: BMW, Mercedes, Audi, Lexus. Maybe even a Tesla that makes your driveway feel more advanced. The car is smoother, faster, quieter, and more impressive. The doors close with a heavier sound. The steering feels sharper. For the first time, the car does not just take you somewhere. It changes how you feel while getting there. But premium brands come with a premium gravitational pull. Every part pulls more money toward itself. A simple service costs more. A damaged wheel costs more. Insurance companies see the badge before they see your budget. And when something goes wrong, the repair quote can quickly destroy the luxury feeling. Still, this level has a powerful psychological effect. People see the car as proof that you are serious, that you are progressing, and that you are no longer in the same category as before. This can help you, but it can also trap you. Because once your environment begins associating you with a premium car, going backward can feel like failure, even if it makes financial sense. At level 5, the car is no longer just transportation. It becomes reputation on wheels, and maintaining reputation is expensive. Level 6. First real status car. Level 6 is the first real status car level. This is where the vehicle becomes bigger, more dominant, and more visible. A luxury SUV, a top trim executive sedan. And when it arrives, before you even step out, the car creates a small stage. This is where many people feel their first real "I made it" moment. Not because they are financially free, but because they know they have a better car. You have turned years of work into a luxury SUV that you can touch, wash, park, and photograph. The problem is that status cars do not only cost money when you buy them, they also cost money because they change the standard around you. You may start choosing better places to park it. You may feel pressure to keep it perfectly clean. Because the car is a luxury SUV, you may need to take longer but safer roads instead of shorter, damaged ones. Even the people around you may begin assuming that you can afford more than you actually can. At this level, the monthly payment is only the front door. Behind it are fuel, tires, service packages, parking, detailing, insurance, and depreciation quietly moving in the background. The car may make you look richer, but if the payment slows down your savings, it can make you less free. That is the contradiction of level 6. The car increases visible status while bringing invisible costs. Level 7. Flashy luxury. Level 7 is where luxury is no longer subtle. Now the names become louder. Porsche, Range Rover, Mercedes S-Class, maybe even a used Ferrari that looks affordable. Until the first serious maintenance bill arrives, the car is no longer designed only to be comfortable. It is designed to announce comfort in front of everyone. Every drive feels like a private jet ride, as if you are gliding above the city, isolated by money, design, and brand power. But this is also where the financial danger becomes sharper. Luxury cars, especially when bought new, loaded with heavy options, and used like normal daily vehicles, can depreciate brutally. A car that feels like a dream on delivery day can turn into a depreciation machine within a few years. And the more complex the vehicle becomes, the more expensive it is to keep it flawless. Luxury does not forgive neglect. At this level, the car may impress strangers, but strangers do not help with your maintenance bill. They only see your arrival. They do not see the insurance renewal, the service appointment, or the moment you realize the car has lost more value in 1 year than some people earn. This is the level where the main question becomes impossible to ignore. Did you buy the car because it fits your wealth, or because you wanted it to prove your wealth? That difference matters, because a truly wealthy person can enjoy an expensive car without needing it to explain who they are. But someone chasing the appearance of wealth may use the car like a costume, and that costume becomes heavier every month. By the end of level 7, the vehicle has turned into a strange mixture of pleasure and pressure. It gives comfort, status, speed, and attention, but it also demands money, care, discipline, and emotional honesty. Because the higher the badge rises, the easier it becomes to forget what cars really do. They move people, they consume money, and unless you buy the right car, at the right time for the right reason, they usually do not build wealth. They display wealth. Level 8. Supercar show. At level 8, the car turns into a show. You are no longer choosing premium badged comfort. You are choosing drama. A Ferrari standing inside a glass showroom. A Lamborghini parked in front of a hotel entrance. Porsche 911. Turbo sitting low under soft garage lights, looking more like a machine built for attention than transportation. This level is exciting because the car changes the air around it. People record it. Before you even speak, the vehicle has already introduced you. But the cost is not only the purchase price. Supercars have invisible rules. They require specialist service, expensive tires, protected parking, careful insurance, and the discipline to understand that every mile can affect value. Some models lose money quickly. Some hold their value better. But very few become real investments just because they are expensive. At level 8, the car is mostly emotional consumption. It gives adrenaline, luxury, and happiness. But unless it is rare, carefully selected, well-documented, and protected with precision, it is still a luxury object burning money inside a beautiful shape. Level 9. Collectible asset. Then level 9 changes the game. This is where a car can become an asset. Not every car. A rare classic Ferrari resting under its special cover. A limited production Porsche with low mileage and a flawless service history. Vintage Mercedes or Aston Martin respected by collectors. At this level, the car is not only driven, it is stored, protected, documented, and verified. The owner follows market prices, auction results, originality, mileage, color combinations, previous ownership, and condition. A scratch is not just cosmetic damage. It can be lost value. A missing service record is not just paperwork. It can weaken the investment thesis. This is why level 9 feels different from normal luxury. The car is no longer acting like an investment. Just because it is expensive, it truly has a chance to become an investment. Because supply is limited, demand is emotional, and collectors compete for history. But even here, there is risk. Storage costs money. Maintenance costs money. Markets change. Tastes change. And buying the wrong future classic can leave you with an expensive machine that nobody wants at the price you expected. So the truth is simple. At level 9, cars can turn into investments, but only when passion is controlled by knowledge. Level 10, access and prestige. Then comes level 10. At this point, the car is no longer the main object. It is access. The ultra-rich do not just buy cars. They build private garages that look like galleries. They receive invitations before public launches. They gain allocation opportunities, special configurations, factory experiences, and private auction access. Their garages may contain supercars, classics, one-off builds, armored luxury SUVs, and vehicles that almost never touch normal roads. But real status is not owning one rare car. It is being recognized as someone who belongs inside that world. At this level, wealth controls accessibility. You do not ask which car you can buy. You ask which car the brand will allow you to buy. And that is the final shift. At the bottom, a car gives movement. In the middle, it gives status. Near the top, it gives pleasure and pressure. At the highest levels, it gives access. So the answer to the original question depends on the level. Most cars are not investments. They are expenses wearing beautiful metal costumes. But the right car, bought with knowledge, protected carefully with discipline, and chosen for rarity more than ego, can become something more. Because real wealth is not proven by the car you drive. No matter what financial level you are at, a peaceful life built through the right decisions is true wealth. This video was only one step on the path to financial freedom. If you want to walk this path and succeed, subscribe to our channel and do not forget to turn on notifications.